Ciao Tommaso.
Ok, ci siamo.
Saluta.
Ciao.
Ciao Oscar.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Massimiliano, ti sei incantato?
Ciao.
Ok.
Bella comunque.
Ciao.
Ciao, ciao.
Visto che con Silvana siamo stati un po' veloci, volevo far vedere che era più che possibile. È molto bello.
Hi Beth.
Hi Beth.
Ciao, Beth.
Hello Beth.
Hi.
Hola, Beth.
Posso...
I assume I'm waiting.
Hi Donna.
Can we start?
Sorry, scusate un attimo che sta per iniziare il laboratorio di Beth. Beth è una creatrice del Michigan e piega la carta da tantissimi anni. È riconosciuta di solito perché ha uno stile minimalista e le piace esplorare le tassellazioni anche in modelli figurativi. È stata l'ospite d'onore in tantissimi convegni in tutto il mondo e ha ricevuto un premio molto importante da Origami USA, il Florence Temco Award nel 2011. E lei insegna, ma divide il suo tempo anche con del volontariato, dove insegna, diciamo, gli origami nella sua comunità. E per piegare questo Cardinal serve un foglio rosso 15x15, è sufficiente un foglio di carta kami. Buone pieghe a tutti.
Grazie.
Thank you. Should I begin?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You can begin. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you. Thanks. It's so nice to see everybody. Thank you for having me. I know we have a tight schedule, so I'm going to jump right in. I'm going to switch over to my, there we go, to my camera, my overhead camera. So today we're going to be doing this Cardinal. And if you don't have red or black paper, that's fine, of course. So I'm going to, the instructions, the white, we're going to start with, I have the white side up, but that would be the black side if you have, so it's, this is the white side, or the body of the Cardinal will be down. So that should make sense, hopefully. And so, yeah, let's just get started. So we're going to start, as I said, white side up, and we're going to fold both diagonals.
Vado.
And just let me know if the pace is too fast or too slow. Oh, I'm in the wrong window here to change my slides. Okay, so now this next step, I'm just going to explain really briefly. I have this point going.
Sorry, Beth, can I just give an announcement? Ci saranno I sottotitoli in italiano per questo laboratorio. All right, thanks. Sorry.
No problem. So we're going to fold this point just slightly past, no more than a centimeter, maybe a half a centimeter to a centimeter past the midpoint. And what that does, I actually have two examples here. It makes the tail longer. The longer you fold it past this center point. So this is right at the center point. You can see the difference. And this is about a centimeter. But if you fold it too far past, the body gets kind of long and thin. So it's a little balancing act. So you can fold it right to the center, or you get a little bit fatter body, a little bit past, you get a longer tail. So you can play around with that later if you want to refold. Okay, so fold that, we leave that folded, and then we're going to just fold the top corner down right at that point where that meets the edge. kind of like a blintz, except a little off center. And then just one more side into the center. And then we're not going to fold this corner up. We're going to leave it like that. And now we're going to take this flap, this edge here, and fold it so it lies along the outside edge. I'm still waking up. It's kind of morning time for me here, so I'm still drinking my waking up a little bit. We're going to repeat on the other side. Not a morning person. Okay. And now we're going to fold these edges over to the side. That. On the right and the left. Okay. Now we're just going to turn the paper over. And this top, the flat edge here, we're going to take these corners and fold them down to the center. So they'll lie along the center edge. They won't quite reach this horizontal diagonal. Okay. All right, now we're just going to take the bottom point to the top. We're just going to fold the whole thing in half. And I kind of pinch these sides really tight. They tend to want to buckle when you fold all those layers together. So pinch that tight, fold it in half, and then we're going to unfold that. Okay, and turn the model over again. And just going to make a few pre-creases here. Now the diagram step looks a little confusing, but it's fairly simple. We're just basically we're making diagonals through this center intersection here, but we don't want to go all the way through. This is the important part. We want to stop at this crease here. So if I fold this edge up, this raw edge here, fold it all the way over so it lies along this edge here. And then I'm going to crease from the bottom corner, and I'm going to crease all the way up until I can see this horizontal crease coming down. I want to stop. Whoops, I'm off camera. Stop right there. So I'm not going through here. We don't want there. So we want to crease that nice and sharp. And it's just aesthetics. We just want to keep the creases free of the body. So if you go all the way through, it's fine, but it looks nicer if you don't. So we've made this crease. It stops right at that point. And we're going to do the same on this side. So we'll take this raw edge and fold it over to that side. And then fold it all the way up from the bottom to that crease. Not sure how good my lighting is here. It's too bright. Oops. Okay. Hopefully you can see the creases there. And next step is similar. We want to make a crease that doesn't go past this. Oh, we want to repeat that last step. Yeah, let me just repeat this last step really quickly. One more time, we're going to take this raw edge here and fold it to this edge here. And just crease from this lower corner and stop right at this crease here. We don't want to go here. And you can also see this crease lines up here along the, imagine if you were folding a preliminary base or a water bomb base, it's just off center. So we're just putting these diagonal creases in. So we folded both directions. So this raw edge over to this edge, crease all the way through this intersection. We've got a lot of points lining up. And then stop right there. Okay, hopefully that's clear now. Okay, so now we're going to fold these edges to the center line, and we're going to make a crease that goes up to this line, and we stop once we get to that crease. So fold this over up to that line, fold all the way up, and stop. Stopping once again here. No creases here. Okay, we're going to repeat that on both sides. Okay. And oops, looks like I missed this. Okay, now we're simply going to unfold these bottom flaps. So just open those up. That. So this is what we have. And then we'll turn the model over. And now we're going to take this bottom point and fold it right up to the base of these white triangles. And we're only going to crease in between these lines. So stopping here and here. So we have this perfect square here in the center. Little water bomb right there in the center. And crease it a little sharper. Okay. And now we're going to, we want to imagine that there's a line between these diagonals. And we want to crease this bisector crease. But we don't want to put this crease in. So we're just going to just eyeball it. And we want to put our hand in the pocket behind and fold this over to make that crease. So I'm pinching behind. And I can tell we want a right angle right there. That's another way to tell that you've hit that center. So if I unfold it, this is what looks like that. It's not going to lie flat. We're trying to keep the creases off of the face there. So we're going to do that on both sides. It's a little easier now that I have one there. And we're going to do the same thing on this side. So if I unfold, you can see I've got these two bisector creases here. But no creases here. I've got a few. I've got some bends there, but that's okay. Okay. So now we're going to, if we just put these creases in place, the model is going to want to actually kind of fold in half. So we're going to put a mountain fold here and fold. Everything just will collapse flat like that. So once again, it looks like this. If I fold it in half and I put those two creases in, like this. Okay, so now when we get this, we want to crease everything really sharp because we actually are just pre-creasing here. And we're going to unfold this and recollapse to lock it. So just make sure those are nice and sharp. And let's see. And then we're just going to unfold. If I open it up flat and unfold everything to this point, but I want to have it folded in half. So we're back to this shape. So just once again, so we're here. If I unfold that and unfold these, pull everything out, and then we're here. Okay. And now this next step, this is one of the kind of a tricky step in the model. We've got these two creases right here that we need to be valley folds. So this one is a mountain, and we want to pinch that, make that a valley. So if we do that, this is just going to want to collapse into place. If we just put these valley, valley, mountain, it'll want to close. It's not going to lie flat. This part will be
Beth, can you repeat again this part? Because there is one behind, a little bit behind. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. So we've unfolded everything and we want to recollapse using all existing creases. We're not going to be making any new creases. And the important ones to focus on are these right here. So we have these two creases we need to be valley folds and this to be a mountain. So if we put those creases in, now we are going to be collapsing with more creases. We'll be using this one. So that's going to be a valley fold. And this. And then this as well here. So if I just think about pinching this as a mountain fold, it will just collapse over like that. It's like almost like an inside reverse fold here, using those existing creases. Okay. So, and again, this part won't lie flat. And now we're going to pinch this, keep this pinched together while this doesn't lie flat, and we're going to turn this over to the other side. And okay, so that's that step. So now we've got more creases that were already in place that we're going to use. Let me just put this flat and mark it. These two creases right here, these are the only two creases we're using right now. And we're going to fold, we're going to make a pleat, a valley fold, and then a mountain fold. So if I fold that valley over and fold that mountain back, it's also still not going to lie flat, but that's what we need to do, and just keep everything pinched together with that pleat there. And so hopefully that you can see in the picture there a little better. The lighting might be kind of hard. Let me zoom in too. So the next step is to repeat this same fold that we did on the back side. So we already have our two, these are going to be valley folds. We just pinch this mountain fold here into place, mountain. We can just pull it over and collapse it flat. So it looks the same as it had before, but now we have a locked, it keeps the whole model locked. We have a lock here. It's like almost like a closed sink. Okay. All right, that was a tricky sequence, and hopefully that was clear. I'm gonna keep moving on. I don't know, are you guys providing recordings afterwards?
Yes.
Great, okay, so that takes a little bit of the pressure off in case people get super stuck.
Don't worry, and in the chat no one is complaining, so you can go on, really.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so now we're going to fold this raw edge here so that it lies along this top edge. And it may go down to the point, it may fall a little short. It really kind of depends on this angle, I think. It always comes out a little different for me. So just fold it. What's important is that this edge lies along this top edge. Thanks, everybody. I see some nice comments. I appreciate it. You never know. Always rolling the dice, I think. With
Beth, potresti un attimino tornare un attimino indietro?
Could you please redo the last step?
Sure.
Perché sono rimasto un becco un po' strano.
Okay, so we're going to take, it's just a simple valley fold.
I guess even the one before.
Okay, this one?
No.
I'm not sure which step.
Maybe.
No.
Sorry, I'm just gonna.
Sono rimasto un po' indietro. No. Non mi ascoltano, forse, non lo so.
Ti sentiamo.
Purtroppo sono rimasto che ho capito la prima parte dove praticamente sembrano due orecchie che salgono, però giustamente non puoi chiuderle ancora perché probabilmente devi fare quella parte lì che non ho capito. Ecco.
Comunque ci sarà una registrazione dopo che pubblicheremo.
Sì, quello sì.
Mi dispiace.
Preferivo vedere un po' dal vivo le cose.
Scusa, ci dobbiamo andare avanti.
È una specie di crimp che si appiattisce poi dall'altra parte pareggiando.
Quindi è solo un pezzetto che va da una parte, capito? Perché
Sì.
giustamente è una fase sola. Per
Le
poter
pieghe
chiudere...
ci sono già. Basta
Le pieghe
fare
sono
quel
quelle di
piccolo
prima. Sì, la
crimp
piega è
interno.
praticamente la speculare di quella che c'è davanti, ok. Esatto,
sorry, I
come
don't
fosse una base
Solo che non è
Scusate, vi ricordo di usare la chat per domande e poi solo per tenere
ho capito.
pulito. Grazie.
Ho capito. Adesso questo
Yeah.
lascio così. Ho capito.
Thanks, Beth. I think we're good.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's okay. Okay, so now we're folding this raw edge here to the top. And as I said, this where this point falls will kind of vary for everyone a little bit. We don't need to worry about that now. And now we're going to take this edge here and fold it to this edge. Like that. Okay. And so what we want to do is get a little bit more color for the beak. So while this is folded, we want to grab this paper and just tug it down. So I'm shifting this fold down just a little if I don't have enough red for the beak. So the beak needs to have some red, and if the black goes all the way, it'll cover that. So just a smidge, just to give yourself enough. You don't want to pull it down too far. Yeah, and if you have enough red, you don't need to necessarily do that, but you just want to make sure. I see a comment. If they folded it to the center. Okay, so now we're going to make a swivel fold, swivel squash, I call them. And it's what we're really doing is, if I open this up, you don't need to do this. There's this folded edge right here, and I'm gonna fold this valley fold along that. I can feel it. I can pull this down. So I'm making a valley fold along that edge, and when I do, this paper here is going to squash in the corner. So let me show you that one more time. This is the crease we're making. So if I pull this down, I'm squashing the corner. Okay, a little worried on time, so I'm going to keep moving along here. And we want to repeat this sequence on the back side. So I'm going to turn it over and go a little bit faster this time. We're going to fold this raw edge here up to the top. And sometimes this paper might tear. There's a lot of tension at this corner. And when we're finished at the end, we can kind of tuck that behind, but I won't do that at this point. That's what happens with kami sometimes. So we folded that up, and then I'm going to take this edge to this edge here. And then this squashes down. We want to pull this, put our finger in this pocket here and pull down along this folded edge inside. Oops, and this is kind of bunching. There we go. Okay. I'm going to crease that nice and sharp. Oh, and I forgot to shift this down, but that's okay. I can unfold it, shift it down a little so it matches the one behind it. So I've just opened up that squash again, shifted the paper, and re-squashed. Sorry about that. Ooh. Okay. And now we're going to make a pleat. I'm going to fold right at this point where this edge meets this edge. I want to fold the paper back. And I want a little bit of a bend here. I don't want to have a straight line. It kind of gives it a little bit of definition for the face. But there's no reference, except that we're folding at that point. So you fold this back, and then once you've got that crease in place, like that, or this is, I'm going to flip it over because it's backwards to the picture, so it looks like this. Now we're going to fold this forward so that we see the beak. This is where the beak will show. So you can pull it out as much as you. So I like to have it kind of in between this section. And shows a little bit better. Like that. My crease is not to a point. There we go. Okay. So we get those nice and sharp, and then we're going to unfold that. That was just a pre-crease. And open this layer up, because we need to, and it'll collapse right back into place, swing nice and easy back into place. We want to make a crimp fold. And because of this lock here in the center, we need to make it to the side. So that's why we're opening this up. And this is the pocket we're going to work in. And we're going to crimp it using those folds. So we want a mountain and valley crimp fold. To get that beak in place. So just one more time. I've unfolded this I've opened up this flap. I'm pulling this paper out and making a mountain and valley crimp. Whoops, my beak keeps getting squashed. Sorry there, okay. And then I want to, that looks really, that's a complicated way of showing that we're just closing this back up and squashing it, so. 2 minutes. Okay. Hope that's good for everybody.
Yes, looks like.
Okay, so now we're here, and we're going to, it's not very good diagram stuff. We're going to open up this pocket again. We don't have to completely unfold it, but we want to just see this flap inside, this pocket here. So if I lift this open, I can see this edge. And I want to open that pocket and pull it out. So this is a valley fold. I'm just making it a mountain fold, folding it out and squashing it flat. Yeah. So we have this white. We're making the body a little bit bigger here. And now, because it's white and we need it to be red, we have to wrap this around the other side, but it's too tight to do that. So we actually have to open these layers up a little bit. So if I reach inside here and I just lift that flap open, I can see this whole white layer here. And then I can just open this. This is a whole valley fold running all the way up right here. And I want to roll that the other way. So I want to at this point pop it back the other way. So just kind of think of it as being completely open. So we don't really have any creases in place here. We've just opened up this whole layer. And what I want to do is recollapse, and you can see in the drawing maybe a little bit clearer, but it's these top two folds here as mountain folds. So if I just put those into place, it's going to want to collapse right back into place like that. So I am going to repeat that on the other side. So if you found that confusing, yeah, I see someone, if you leave that as black, that might look nice.
Sorry,
so,
can you repeat?
Yeah, I'm going to repeat on the other side. So we'll see this, and then I can wait a second. But what we're going to do, again, I'll just show it slowly, is we want to open this layer and pull out this pocket and reclose. So I have this white layer here. And now I'm going to open up, reach my hand inside the model and pull these layers out. And so this is, when it's collapsed, it's helpful to think about, see this point and this point. This is, what we're doing is essentially like popping that through, but there's so much tension we don't want to do that. We want to be gentle with it. But this is the point we want to reverse. So if we open this up, if we look at that point here, can kind of pop at that point and push that point through. you can maybe see where we're collapsing a little bit better. So we've got a mountain, 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 and a valley fold here. And we just want to close everything back up. And I hope that's clear. I'm a little worried about finishing, so I think I'm just going to have to, if somebody didn't catch that, we'll have to see that, I hope, on the video. Can wait a second or two while people close that up. So this is what it looks like on the inside. That white layer was just flipped from one side to the other, is really all we ended up doing. And again, if you didn't change those layers, or you had trouble, again, it actually will. Somebody mentioned it might look nice with a little bit of a belly, so it's not. The model will still work. So keep folding if you got stuck on that part. Okay. So now we're going to simply, inside we have these creases that these flaps that we folded down way back in the beginning. We want to just put those back into place. So those have been opened up. So just refold those down. And okay, so now we're going to work on the tail, and we're going to lift this. We've got a valley fold here where these two diagonal creases come to a point. That's the crease we're looking for. So we're going to lift that up straight in the air and put our hand in that pocket and squash it, just like a very just typical squash fold here. So lift this up, squash it flat. And the next step is a petal fold, but this one is a little different. We've already got some of the creases we need. So we're going to lift up along this valley fold that's already in place. Lift up along there, and then we're going to squash so that these edges fall along the center. We're going to push these up. So looks like this. I can repeat that here very quickly. Just lift this up and push these flaps to the center. Okay. And now we're going to fold this flap back towards the back of the model. And we're going to take this edge here and we're going to fold it. It's like this tail section here. We're going to fold it in half. And we want to fold it just a little shy of, we don't want to go past this line because we're going to actually roll it over. So just make sure you have enough room to do that. So we'll fold this flap over like this, a sharp crease, and then fold one more time. Okay, and now we're going to, just zoom in here. We're going to take this edge and fold it back to this center line, but when we do that, we want to flip out this layer behind. So I'm folding this over, flipping out the back layer, Erase that really sharply. So I was here, and now we're here. It should look like that. Great. And now we have this bottom corner. We want to fold it up as far as it'll go. It's locked right here, and it folds. There's a little square here. You can see it falls all along all these references. So we want to make that nice and sharp. Okay. And now I'm going to skip that step. I'm going to just, actually, we're just going to turn the model over. And we're going to do the same. So don't worry about the steps here for a second. We're going to do the same thing on this flap here. So we're just going to fold this edge here. In fact, I can probably, well, I won't mess around with that. Fold this edge over to the center. Fold it again. So I didn't give myself enough space. Fold it one more time over. And then fold this edge to the center, but flipping out this layer. Ugh. Okay. We're almost done with the folds, but the collapse is a little tricky. So now we're going to take this, let's see, this corner here and fold it up. Just like we did behind. Make those nice and sharp. And then once we have those both folded, we can unfold those. Okay, so now here we're getting to the collapse part. So we're going to have a couple steps where we're preparing it, and it's going to be kind of 3D, and it's a little unusual, but it should. If you do everything slowly and follow along with me, it should snap right into place once you get everything lined up. Okay, so the very first step is we're going to make this tail. We want to fold these so this is flat, perpendicular to the body. So I can, let's see, like on my phone, I don't know if that shows it better. Okay. So I can set it down on the table like that and swing this body back and forth. And so once you get this into position, the next step is to open up the model, and we're going to use some existing creases here. So we have a mountain fold and a mountain fold coming down right here and here on the front and back side. And if we open up, and it's kind of like kind of sinking the center and putting those mountain folds into place without putting any creases in this part. So the paper's going to bend, but we don't want to put any creases in. I can get it almost kind of flat here on the back. Completely flat. So I'm going to show that one more time. So we had it like this, and then I'm pushing the center down gently and putting these mountain folds into place. And there's also a valley fold here that was already in place that we can use. All right, so it looks like this. I can actually put my whole hand inside, kind of hold it like that, with 2 fingers. And the next step we want to do with our hand inside, it's kind of helpful. We've got this tail flap now that we can kind of swing up and down. We're going to make a valley fold right along that crease. We're going to fold the whole flap down and then keep it pinched together. So it looked like this, and now it's going to look like this. And this next step is when everything comes together. And what you want to do, I like to keep one hand inside. I'm going to pinch the model in half by squeezing, but I keep my finger underneath the tail. I pinch it in half. It snaps right into place, hopefully. And these 2 flaps here that we've folded, these triangle flaps, should press completely together and tuck underneath right underneath the tail. And then I can kind of go inside and round the body out a little bit again. And that's the finished cardinal. So let me see if, I don't know if I need to show this.
You surprised everyone finishing like this.
Thank you so much. Wonderful, Beth. Thank you.
Thank you. I was so worried we weren't going to get it on. I hope I didn't rush people.
Thank you so much.
Thank you a lot. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Fantastic, amazing.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Meraviglioso.
Thank you, Beth. Thank you.
Meraviglioso.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Show your models. Fate vedere
Thanks a
i
lot.
modelli. Subito.
Too bad.
Wonderful.
Oh, great. Oh, that's so great.
Precioso, precioso, precioso.
Mira,
Precioso.
estupendo.
Awesome.
Qué bonito, ¿eh?
Qué bonito, Paz.
Esto, chicos.
Qué bonito.
Bonito, bonito. Uy, me encanta.
Molto carino.
So great.
Molto bella.
Camila, awesome.
Sono riuscita a piegarlo anch'io.
Precioso.